All right, fine. I'll do D. D is kind of a long one, but it's not terrible. It kind of just follows the same pattern as the others because we're going to need to multiply it by the numbers that are the same but with a different sign so that we've got the difference of perfect squares going on the bottom. And of course, if we're doing that to the bottom, we have to also do it on the top. So we can put our brackets in so that it just looks like normal FOIL questions and continue on. I'll get my colors set up here. And I'm just going to start with the first term and then head to the outside, inside, and last and kind of simplify as I go. I'm looking at these ones and I'm seeing that there's nothing really complicated in terms of big numbers under the root sign, so I don't have to simplify anything. It's pretty straightforward at this point. So let's get started. My first 6 root 3 times 5 is going to give me 30 root 3. Outside, 6 times negative 4 gives me negative 24, and then root 3 times root 2 gives me 6. Inside, I've got negative 2 times 5, so negative 10. And last, I have negative 2 times negative, so that's a positive 4 root 2, so it ends up being 8 root 2. I can kind of look right now and see that there's nothing on the top that has the similar root sign and nothing that can be simplified, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. We'll go to the bottom. First, 5 times 5 is just 25. Outside, 5 times negative 4 root 2 gives me negative 20 root 2. And I know that the next one is just going to be the same thing but positive, so positive 4 root 2. So I didn't even have to really do that step. I could have cut it out. In your answer key, it just cuts it out. It just says, I know that I'm going to be canceling those ones out anyway, so I'm just going to square this and square that. So that's your option as well. It works out the same either way. So now my last is I'm going to go 4 times negative 4 gives me negative 16. Root 2 times root 2. So that's just going to be 2 because root 2 squared equals 2. Or square root of 4, which then becomes 2. All right. So I can cancel the middle guys out. And I can actually multiply my 16 times 2, and that's going to give me 32, and it's a negative. So now my final step here, I'm going to take my 25 and my negative 32. 32 minus 25 is just going to be negative 7 down there. And I'm going to look at all of this and see if I can change anything. Doesn't really look like it, so I'm going to write all of it out again. And that should do it. Yep. Your book does a weird little thing right at the end. It says, I don't really want this negative down here. And I don't know, whatever. It's kind of one of those odd little things that your book likes to try to keep the denominator as simple as it possibly can. So then what they do is they just factor a negative out of everything. So you've got it all sitting here, but you want to change the signs. So it's almost as if we just took the whole thing and we multiplied it by negative 1 over negative 1. So that's going to change the sign on the bottom to 7, or to positive 7. And then it just makes all of the rest of these exactly the same numbers, but with the opposite signs. So yeah, when it says simplify, like they did in this question, they really mean simplify the denominator. So if there's a negative down there, your book's just going to get rid of it. Doesn't really change the overall value, just simplifies it.